What's up, Leafs fans? Welcome back to another Leafs Nation After Dark. I'm Zack Phillips, and tonight we're going to be breaking down game number 28 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season, defeating here tonight Sheldon Keefe's New Jersey Devils in what was the most Leafs and Sheldon Keefe game of all time from all parties involved. We'll break that down. We'll talk about Austin Matthews, why Nick's taking some heat online, and we'll have Nick on here to help us break that down and maybe give an answer for it himself. But before we can get into any of that, today's show is a presentation of Bet365. You guys knew that. You know it. As always, and Bet365 is a proud partner of the Leafs Nation pregame. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, NATION. That's code NATION, all caps. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. As well, a special announcement here. Not only is Bet365 a partner, but we have a new addition to the show. A lot of times we have the super chats here. If you tune in every day, Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, which you should be doing anyways, to the Leafs Morning Take with Nick and Rosie, you probably heard it from them as well. But regardless, we have now added Sick Kids to the show as part of our super chat function. So every time you guys send a super chat, you want to make sure your question or comment gets on the show, hit us with a super chat. Proceeds from our super chats will go to Sick Kids, Children's First Children's Hospital, and a top research intensive hospital in Canada, and third in the world. When you get a super chat, when you send in a super chat, we will run the animation, we will answer your questions, we'll talk about it here on the show. So all proceeds will go towards Sick Kids. Cool little addition here to the show to help for all your questions, comments, concerns that you guys have there in the chat. But let's not wait any longer. Let's bring the man who's causing a stir online to the show here, Nick Alberga. Nick, how's it going? Welcome to another Leafs Nation After Dark, buddy.
What a wild ride, Zach. Great to be with you. What a hockey game. I almost was at a loss for words, just trying to think about something to recap that game quickly. I just don't know what I witnessed there.
I was going to say, I was like, normally on a show, I'm like, hey, I come on after, and I know I want to start here. We'll go to this, and this, and then whatever happens after with the chat, we'll go to that, and then I'm willing to have that. Or if you or Rosie come on, I'm like, I need to ask them this. I literally was like, dude, I don't know where to start. I'm just gonna ask Nick, what do you want to talk about? So, what do you want to talk about?
Well, it's just the heat that I'm taking over this tweet or whatever we call it. It's flooring to me that people are my mentions now, chirping me. All I wrote an hour ago, so this is late in the second period, early in the third period, I think. I said something remains off with Austin Matthews, and I won't lie, it's starting to concern me. Yeah. Which at this very moment, he won the game in OT. I still feel the same way. This guy's the most prolific sniper in the league, Zach. He missed a billion empty or nets tonight. Never. You got 3 breakaways in the second period. Missed the net twice. There's something off. I don't know if it's rust, but it's not the same Matthews that we've been accustomed to seeing. That's all I'm saying. It's not like I'm tearing the guy down. He's still lost to Matthews. He's still great. Used his jets in this game, but yeah, it's just flooring to get the backlash on social media. I think it's just part of covering the Maple Leafs that people are just going to try to do something to piss you off.
I think it's probably the second or the last one there. I agree. I don't know. I said it the other day, but this is also not a recent thing. Say rust all you want. This is what was happening before he left for Germany. This is what was happening before he took that month off. It's the same issues where it's he's a half step off or a half a stick movement off on something where he doesn't quite receive the pass, an inch off hitting his spot on the net. Think about in overtime there, it's him and Mitch go down the other way on a 2-on-1. Defender basically takes away Mitch and is okay, let the best shooter in the NHL, best goal scorer in the NHL walk in and have free reign on the net, and way off on his target. He's been like this basically the whole season so far. I mean, obviously scored the OT winner tonight. Amazing. And the chat is obviously at some point here going to turn on us quickly because of these takes. It is what it is. But I don't know. I'm on the same page as you. It feels off. Something feels wrong. And it looked like it a lot here tonight.
Yeah, let's not bury the lead. Again, we can go ad nauseum for like an hour about Austin Matthews. The guy's an incredible player. I chirped somebody,
Yeah.
Leaf Nation 67 in our chat today was suggesting the Leafs trade Austin Matthews, which I wanted to ban him from the chat and ban him from the show. Okay. I love Austin Matthews. For anybody in the chat who thinks I do not love Austin Matthews, I am a supporter of Austin Matthews. He's one of my favorite players, period, in the NHL. I apologize for speaking the truth in this hockey game, but he wins it in OT. Let's not bury the lead here. Anthony Stolarz, he's a Vezina finalist right now. I don't know if this was the final stake in that. I know we still got plenty of racetrack in this season, but again, on the national stage, it was on ESPN, and this guy was incredible in this game. The Leafs had no business coming out of Prudential Center with the victory, and you had the tweet early on in the game. It was just so synonymous with Sheldon Keefe. How many times did we see that in Sheldon Keefe's tenure as the head coach of the Maple Leafs, where his team just thoroughly dominated and they got goalied? Well, the Devils got goalied in this game. Like, it's crazy to even talk about.
I know it was the other way around, right? The Leafs had the slow start that was in honor of Sheldon Keefe. They never got it together, so it's not like it was like, oh, a slow start, you turn that around. But you didn't start on time. And then at the flip side, Devils get goalied. They get out physically played. They dummy the Leafs in the deserve to win a meter for whatever the hell that's worth. Our guy Mario Kart in the chat's gonna ask me for it later, but dummy them there and walk away with a loss in overtime. Like, that was the prototypical Sheldon Keefe game from the Devils, but I don't know. Your point on Stolarz is bang on. When I say 0% chance, like, I'm not even kidding. Like, there's not even like a 0.0001% chance. There is a 0% chance the Leafs win this game if it is not for Anthony Stolarz. None. Like, that doesn't happen. You don't even have a shot to make it 1-1 in the third period if not for Anthony Stolarz. Even think about that insane sequence that takes place before the goal. He's on his ass. He's like poking at the puck, making a couple saves in tight. There's a mad scramble in front. There's 34 million scoring opportunities for the Devils. Their expected goals on that play alone is probably like 35. And Anthony Stolarz doesn't let the puck go past him, and it goes down the other way. And just the most absurd goal ever that gets scored by Pontus Holmberg. His first of the season past a goalie, Nick. Not like, yeah, second of the year. First past the goalie, and it ties the game here against the Devils. That was a stupid game, but this team has zero shot. Zero shot if it's not for Anthony Stolarz and his play tonight.
I can't remember how many games they won like that, where they're just grossly outplayed, still found a way because their goalie was the best player in the arena. And I got to have some words with the arena staff in New Jersey. Like, we're taking shots off the board all night long, like to troll the Maple Leafs. And then for some reason, Austin Matthews' OT winners unassisted. Stolarz deserves an apple on that. Yeah, like, he has to get an apple. Like, I just thought that was only fitting in front of his family and friends. What an incredible story. But yeah, there's just so many twists and turns to this game. Even the fact that the Maple Leafs kept taking penalty after penalty after penalty. And as you mentioned, it's Pontus Holmberg, his first pass to goalie this season. Oh yeah, the Devils came into the game with the best power play unit in the NHL. Can you make sense of that? Again, Lane Lambert doesn't get enough credit that he deserves for the PK. But I thought the PK was awesome in this game and very timely. They needed a goal from somebody not from the Big Four, and they got it from Pontus Holmberg out of all players. I love the Connor Dewar, like, speed burst, Michael Grabner-esque. He was flying. Like, he was shot out of a cannon that forced the play that led to the Holmberg goal. But that's a big goal there.
Dude, 4 for 4 on the penalty kill, and not only 4 for 4 on the penalty kill, but every time, like, the most dangerous the team looked tonight offensively was shorthanded. It was a couple of chances from Matthews and Marner in the second period there, shorthanded. It's the goal that ties the game from Pontus Holmberg that's shorthanded. Like, I think Mike Johnson made the joke on the broadcast tonight. He's like, if you're the Leafs at this point, why not just say, like, let's just go to the box because you're playing so much better at shorthanded here against this Devils team. But unbelievable job from the PK unit. 0 for 3 on the power play, so still some work to do there from the power play. We'll talk about that, I'm certain. But yeah, I don't know. We talked about, hey, you need some bottom six scoring. You need some contribution from those guys. The calculator community was putting out articles about, the top six, they're the only guys who score. They're the only guys who score. And it's like, okay, well, here you go. Here's a night tonight where things were ugly. You're down 1-0. And the bottom six, gets on the board. And Pontus Holmberg, a guy that I've been fairly harsh on over the last little while on the show about his level of play. finally turns around and says "fuck you" to me. And not only that,
Pretty
but
much.
two games after I bet him, or 2 games after I bet him anytime goal scorer against Washington plus 650. Yeah, no bueno there. And then he turns around and does it tonight. What a joke.
Yeah, again, it was just one of those games. It was really bizarre. Having said that, I don't know about you. I definitely had that feeling. It was 1-0 for a while. I'm like, the Leafs are gonna do the funniest Leafs thing ever and win this hockey game, and that's exactly what happened. Like again, they had no business winning this game, folks. If you missed it, Anthony Stolar is out of this world. Specifically in the first period, the shots were 15-1 for New Jersey after 20. The game, for all intents and purposes, should have been over. But again, when you have a goaltender this locked in the way Stolar is playing right now, he gave them a shot, and full credit to the team, right? They rallied, they bared down, they scored that big time goal. Then in OT, it was back and forth, and Austin Matthews like sort of bobbled it on the breakaway, then goes shelf, like a scoop shot shelf on Markstrom. Crazy finish.
Yeah, top corner at the very end there. Gets in alone. Too many at that point. It's just too many times. He gave him too many opportunities.
Yeah.
All the credit where it's due for that, but all the credit where it's due as well to producer Vic, who texted us during the game and said, Leafs are winning this one. I was like, no, come on. I was literally going to jokingly bet it and then decided no, because there's no shot this team's winning this game. And yeah, they do. So kudos to producer Vic for calling that one. And he's in the chat there, just being a menace, says Pontus deserves more ice time, if you ask me.
I don't know, man. The way this team scores right now, I'll take a goal from anybody. I don't care who it is. They wanted Max Domi to shoot the puck more. He returned in this game, missed 8 games. He was shooting the puck all right, but missing the net by about 17 feet, which was a theme for the Leafs in this game too.
Yeah, not quite calibrated in this first game back. Let's get into some more serious stuff here. I want to get into some of the more negatives, which is going to piss people in the chat off after a win tonight, but I think we have to do it. I think we're both realistic about it, and I think it's fair. Before we do, 2 super chats. So I want to get to those and shout them out, but let's get the Sick Kids animation on screen. There you go. Might need to shorten that one up a tad. We'll work
probably
on it. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, this thing's been up for a while. Regardless, you guys know, and for those of you who have joined the show late here, if you didn't know, all super chats on the show, you want to ask questions, you got comments, or you just want to send money to the show for any purpose whatsoever, all proceeds are going to Sick Kids Hospital. So very cool initiatives that we're running here, whether it's on the After Dark show or on the Leafs Morning Take show with Nick and Rosie. Get those super chats in. They're going to Sick Kids. So thank you guys for sending them. Robert Smith sends $5 and he just says, for the kids. Robert, that's awesome. Thank you. Tammy also sends a super chat. Tammy says, for the crotch goblins.
Tammy, I'm telling you right now, not to cut a promo. If you're not at the TLN Nation vacation in Nashville, I will ban you from the channel. So you better be there. I'm telling you right now, you could subscribe. Or no, you not subscribe. You can sign up. You can book your spot at the TLN Nation vacation over at nationgear.ca right now.
Nick, have you seen these? There is, thanks for the super chats, guys. There is AI generated chat summaries now on YouTube. Viewers are discussing the Toronto Maple Leafs victory, giving credit to Pontus Holmberg and the goaltender Stolars. They also discuss potential roster changes and criticize Mitch Marner.
What?
That's what the AI chat summary
Not
gave
tonight.
Me. Not tonight. I'm not on that page here
tonight.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into that. Who to criticize here tonight? The team at 5-on-5 has been struggling drastically to score, to generate chances. What is it for you that's sticking out right now as like the main source of this problem? Why are they struggling so much? I mean, every time this happens, I make the joke. I made the joke to you guys again, and it's like time to trade 34. Obviously not. Like, I'm not serious with that. But he comes back, and all of a sudden, it's like this thing fell off a cliff offensively. Team having these weird, slow starts and not being able to get themselves engaged in a game. Like, what is it that you're seeing right now that feels or is wrong with this team? Like, why is this happening?
I don't know. I think personally the team just went out in Hoboken last night or in New York City, and they pulled back the curtain. They snap one off, and it was 4 a.m. Next thing you know, you're in bed. So maybe that was the answer. But Again, that has been the polarizing question for this team throughout this early season. Why can't they score like they used to? I wish I had an answer for you. I think a lot of it has to do with the attention to detail defensively. They're so locked in on their responsibilities that they're not giving up as much offensively. And again, I know it's crazy to say this, but this game shows you if you want to play that Keefe style, you're going to win those games. If you want to play the Berube style, you're going to win those games, right? And maybe that's just the luck of the draw. We talked about the win-o-meter and the wrong team probably won this game, but maybe it was Toronto's patience and poise with their system that pulled through. And sometimes you need to goalie an opponent. I wish I had an answer for you. Like, I just don't know. I think it's definitively clear here, Zach. Like, the bottom six needs some firepower. Of course, without Bobby McMahon, Calle Yarncroke hasn't played a game this season. I don't want to include David Kampf. Like, I think if I'd, predict what's going to happen between now and the trade deadline, they need to get at least one guy, if not two, to play in the bottom six, because that's the difference come playoff time, in my opinion.
Yanni Gourde.
Maybe Yanni Gourde. I like Brock Nelson. I think the Islanders are going to be involved in a playoff conversation and looking to re-sign that guy. But I think there's some routes you can look. I think there's going to be some guys you don't really think are going to be out there that are going to be out there. So I think it's too early to tell on the deadline front.
Do you put any stock into the fact that the team has now gone on this stretch of like, I don't know, I'd probably date back to the third period against Tampa on the Saturday night. It started then for me. Like, yeah, stinker against Florida, whatever. Rosie and I chalked that one up to, injuries caught up to you. You're playing a really, really good team. You've got a lot of guys out that are your big name guys. Whatever. Saturday night, they played 40 minutes that are really good against Tampa. You were at that game. The third period, it wasn't like it was ugly, but they almost gave it away. From that point on, we have seen like Chicago, ugly game. It's just been followed up with these just messy, sloppy games. That game against Nashville that you kind of get through with a period of good play. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Do you have any concern long term that this team is like letting its old self, its old colors shine through and saying, hey, we are still here? Is this just growing pains under Craig Berube and the team adapting? Like, is just a lull in the season? Like, what is your reasoning behind this stretch of bad play that may get overlooked because you've chalked up a few wins and there are only 2-3 losses at this point?
I think, truthfully, it's see all of the above. It's a long season, and we talked about this on the show the other day. Contrary to popular belief, there's no team in NHL history that has gone 82-0. You're going to have your good games, your bad games. No, there isn't. But people, again, Leafs Nation, producer Vic wanted to walk off a ledge after the second period. He was done with the Maple Leafs. Now he's celebrating in the chat like they won the Stanley Cup. But again, producer Vic like epitomizes Leafs Nation. That's why we love producer Vic. That's why we love doing this show and doing these shows on a daily basis. That's Leafs Nation. Every game is a Stanley Cup. And when this team's doing hot, everybody's feeling good. When they're struggling, you feel shitty. And so I think it's somewhere in between. I'm not getting too wrapped up in sort of these dull performances, if you want to call them that. Even over the weekend, they lost a couple games they probably could have won. The Washington one, they were right there. Ditto for the Pittsburgh one. I just think it's the ups and downs. I'll just say, like, I just think the style of play is more conducive to success in the playoffs, and that's what gives me hope, quite frankly.
I agree. I just was having, I will like be honest, and I kind of had the conversation. I didn't really let it happen until I think it was last game. People started getting mad at me, but it was like last game it started to creep in where I was like, hey, you win those games where you probably don't deserve to, which are not games this Leafs team typically wins. That's fine, but don't let this become a thing. Like, let's not let this extend on. At some point here, let's flip it in the opposite direction where you should be winning games and you're playing the right way yet again, because we saw them doing it for a while there, where that was kind of the point where, Carter Hutton's going on all these shows talking about this team is different. People are laughing at him. And then I brought him on here and I was like, think they're different? He's like, yep, they are. And then after that, like, ooh, it kind of turned back around and everyone was like, ooh, this is the same Leafs team of old. But I don't know. I'm with you. I think that there is just an element of, hey, it's a long season. Everybody's going to go through these. So not overly concerned, but if this lasts for too long here at this point, it will be something that kind of starts poking at me of like, they might just be who we thought they were beforehand.
Yeah, but it's like this is the same thing. Like they do this every year where they have that hot stretch in November, then a lull before Christmas, then they're going to pick right back up in January. And Rosie always gives me shit because I really don't care about the regular season. I still
Yeah.
feel that way. I know in our group chat tonight he was giving me shit because I'm like, just get a point. He's like, points don't matter. I thought you still need to make the playoffs, Rosie. I hope you're watching right now. But I'm more interested in the body of work, the process, every cliche you want to throw into the conversation, that 82 game stretch, how they look, on the doorstep of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So if they lose a couple games here in December, that's okay. They're going to make the postseason. I feel good about this team. I really do. Even if they had lost this game, I know they got pumped in this game, still found a way to get the 2 points. The process is what gets me, and so far so good in my opinion.
I have two more things I want to nitpick, but before I do, let's go a little positive notes so that the chat doesn't just absolutely lose their minds here. Max Pacioretty. First of all, I think it was the wrong fit on the line with Matthews and Marner. I don't know if you agree there. I know you wanted him in the top 6. I loved him in the top 6, but I loved him on the top 6 with Tavares and Nylander, and I was kind of surprised that Berube, in his first game back, put him with Matthews and Marner. Kind of switches over here tonight at some point. I think it was in the late second period, where he puts them back. And then I thought that was the right direction. I love Pacioretty in the top 6. I just think he fits better with Tavares and Nylander. But that guy seems like he didn't miss a step despite this injury, which is like another injury on his lower body, 2 major ones in his career over the last little while. Takes another one here, misses an extended period of time, comes back right back in, not afraid of anybody, involved in every single play, hard in on the forecheck, doesn't look like he's slowed down there, and then absolutely levels Jack Hughes. What'd you make of the hit, his return to this lineup over the last couple of games, and just the impact that he's making on this lineup right now?
Man, I felt like I was watching the Leafs of yesteryear. Just the chicken shit nature of the New Jersey Devils after the nice hit, after the Pacioretty hit. Like, you had Dougie Hamilton sort of like grab him. Like, you would in like beer league hockey, you grab a guy. Like, you have no intention to do any. Like, I don't know. It made me sick to my stomach, although it's from the opposition, so I don't care. But Pacioretty has served a need. He served a purpose. I've been concrete on this since day one when they signed this guy. I like the fit. I thought he was going to be a good fit. He has been a good fit. I didn't particularly like his game in the first half of this game, although I will say as a veteran, he really, really stepped up in the second half of the game. And I think, unfortunately, because he's missed so much time, 10 games to be exact, he's got to find his foot in the lineup again and find the proper place. Because as you just brought up, prior to the injury, he had found some decent chemistry on the line with Tavares and Nylander. So we'll see all the puzzle pieces fit when McMahon comes back, and obviously Domi's back in the mix now. But there's definitely like we're far, far away from that time where Max Pacioretty was a healthy scratch. He's going to be in this lineup. It's just more so where in the lineup. I still like him in the top 6. I don't care who it's with, but only time will tell on that front, Zach.
He better be in this top 6. Holy fuck, I'll lose my mind. That'll be the one thing that'll actually drive me nuts with Berube. I've not really been upset with anything he's done to this point. Kind of just sitting back watching it happen. There's not really been any times. The first time I questioned anything was when he put him with Matthews and Marner and kept him there, and I was like, dude, I love him in the top 6. I just don't think it works with that line personally. But if he's not in this top 6, unless it's the caveat, because somebody will come and grab this clip of you and I. Unless they go and get somebody exceptional to fit in that top 6 that like we're not thinking of right now, and they go and trade for some guy, okay, then fine, push him out of the top 6. But otherwise, needs to be there.
And I think to that point too, Pacioretty deserves a lot of credit, because I was actually texting as well with Adam Copeland Edge, formerly of WWE, during the game, and he was like marveled over this game and the comeback and all that. And we were talking about Pacioretty. He's like, I never knew Pacioretty had it in him. And I'm like, man, he has really like evolved his game and played a different brand. If you want to talk about buy-in, go watch Max Pacioretty, the way he's played hockey prior to joining Toronto. It is night and day. Like, he's never really been known as a physical presence. But for me and not knowing what went on the inside, I think it was quite clear. Craig Berube's like, if you want to be a Toronto Maple Leaf, this is the style, this is the brand you got to play. And he's excelled in that role, man. He is throwing his weight around. I love to see that, especially from a guy you just talked about, the laundry list of significant injuries. He is not shying away from the physical aspect of the game, even after coming back from a hamstring injury. So it's been a pleasant surprise. Like, every year, Simone Benoit was a perfect example last year. You have to hit on some of these like smaller signings, and they have so far, I think, in Pacioretty.
We did hit 65 likes here on the stream. If you guys want to ask questions, send more. You get send super chats in. Those will go right to Sick Kids. All proceeds going to Sick Kids. But 50 likes on the stream means that we got to do smelling salts. We blew past that. So at the 100, we'll do more. But Nick, you got to get some smelling salts yourself.
This is my smelling salts. Jay Rosehill. This has to be
I'm going to put you up.
one of the
Show
best profile pictures of all time. Albeit with that shitty ass Philadelphia Flyers team, but look at the flow. Like, he didn't cut his hair for like 9 weeks, maybe 9 months. I don't know, man. I think it looks good. We're trying to get Rosie to grow it back here, but he hasn't thought about it very much.
No, that conversation was, no, not happening. That was the extent of that. He's not going to do it. But Nick, we'll get you.
What do you have the
some
better
smelling
chance? Do you think there's a better chance of Rosie growing his hair out or growing a mustache?
mustache, probably.
Yeah, I think it's
You
the
think
hair. You weren't really involved in the conversation about Movember. He wanted no part of Movember. Telling that right now, not to sewer Rosie on this show, but he wanted no part of Movember. Apparently his mustache is terrible and he wanted no part of it. So I think it's the hair that's going to come back, if anything.
Let's see if we can get him to do it. What do you think it would take? Like, how could we convince him?
He said he didn't want to show up Mitch Marner with the mustache. So the whiskers.
All right, let's do some results here.
Hit it, baby.
All right, there you go. We got to 100.
Imagine tuning in to this show for the first time, like mid sniff, and like, what is happening on this feed right now?
I know, that would be fuck. The playoffs too, man. It's like every 20 minutes on the playoff streams last year. I can't imagine what they'll be like this year, but like every 20 minutes we were hitting them, having to do it, because that was like you and Rosie were coming on every single show, and it was just people jamming it. We're having crazy amounts of viewership. Likes are going up. Somebody clicking that for the first time is like, okay, I don't know about this one, but whatever. It is what it is.
My apologies. Chris Arsenault writes in, Nick, you're already showing up, Mitch. My bad. I'm not picking on him today. No, he wasn't my issue. He wasn't my. They won. They won the hockey game.
Okay. Well, you know what? I was gonna ask you something, but what was your issue tonight? What were players or guys or moments that were problematic for you here?
I just don't think they were as clean with the puck. Like, we've talked about it a lot this year. Like, in the D zone, they had major league issues getting the puck out of their end, which again has been a calling card of previous teams. And ironically enough, look at the head coach. Having said that, like, I expected this monster effort from New Jersey, considering they laid an absolute egg on Sunday against Colorado. But I got to credit Toronto. Like, they weathered that storm. Like, that was insanity to me, the way the game started, where they were outshot 15-1 in the first period. And unfortunately, the only goal the Devils score in this game was, and I know Odog illustrated it perfectly on the broadcast, just like a poor decision by John Tavares when clearing the puck, went to the backhand instead of the forehand. And credit New Jersey come back and, nice pass across it, and he goes shelf. Like, Stolarz had no chance on that. But I think all in all, they weathered the storm. I'm really not going to choose this game, believe it or not, to nitpick some of the negative aspects. Like, I'm the type, like, get the hell out of the building. In the NBA, when they hit a buzzer beater or something like that and they run out of the building before they can replay it, that's how I felt about this game. Just get to the plane and then go back home and get ready for Anaheim on Thursday.
This is not the game. This is not the show I expected from you, Nick. I thought you were going to be coming on here guns ablaze and like
I again, you know me by now, man. I don't really care about the regular season. People will laugh and hoot and holler over that, but I just don't care. Like, the Devils are an awesome team. There's a reason why they're a top 5 team in the league right now, top 5 in the Eastern Conference for sure. Mm-hmm. I expected a big effort, and sometimes you find a way to win games like this, and the Leafs did. Like, I think you're going to have your dud from time to time. Like, when's the last time you can say the Leafs really shit their pants in a game and actually won it, right? Like, they shit their pants, but they won the game. So it's like, I can't come on here and just rip them. And quite honestly, even thinking about it before they took the lead and all that, like, and won in an OT, I wasn't going to come on and rip them. I just think it's such a long season. And Rose, you can speak to this, having played in this league. Sometimes you're going to have it, sometimes you're not. They look like the slower team in this game. But again, weirdly enough, it's a weird game. They found a way to get the job done here.
two plays I want to address that I don't think we need to rip on, but it would be a mistake if I didn't bring them up. Two blackout plays by defensemen on this Leafs team tonight. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. One is Simone Benoit, the outrageous turnover that leads to a chance that then leads to the penalty of him shooting the puck out of play. Just these are just I just need to point them out that they happened because people would be like, "What about that play?"
Yeah.
Like I'm saying it right now, guys. I'm addressing them. That was belligerent. The second one, which was arguably like a billion times worse, was Connor Timmins ripping the puck off the Devil's skate, who was standing 2 feet away, hitting Anthony Stolarz in the pad. I just watched those plays. I couldn't help but laugh. I'm not trying to rip on them. I think those guys have been really solid this year. Connor Timmins, mind you, as well, led to the one play where Nyes feeds it through to Matthews on the breakaway because he breaks up the 2-on-1 laying down. So it's not like I'm not trying to say he had a bad game or anything like that. I just needed to address those two outrageous plays by those.
Yeah, they were Steve Smith-esque, right? I mean, kudos to Stolarz for just the quick reaction time. That's the one that caught me. I'm like, holy crap. But no, I'll call a spade a spade. I thought Timmins was awful in this game. I thought by far his worst outing of the season. Only fitting the guy who healthy scratched him all the time was on the other bench, and Sheldon Keefe. Maybe he gets nervousness or something. But again, I'm not going to pile on the guy. He's been great. You're going to have your moments. But I just think in general, the Leafs look slow in this game.
Yeah.
And the Devils look really, really fast. But again, they found a way. Like, it's still even incredible talking about that game and what just transpired and how grossly they were outshot and how great their goalie played. And they found a way to get the win. Like, I want to give a shout out as well to Connor Dewar again on the tying goal by Pontus Holmberg. He did a lot of the heavy lifting to force a New Jersey D, and Holmberg cleans up the mess. That's a big time goal. Anytime somebody not named Nylander, Tavares, Marner, and Matthews score a goal, I will celebrate like I'm on King Street West on a Friday night. I parlay.
Okay. There you go.
I got a new location now. I go to parlay now.
Yeah. All right. I don't think I got anything else for you here, Nick. I appreciate you taking the time.
I want to add one more thing.
Yep, go.
This 5-forward power play, burn it. I never want to see that shit again. Because again, okay, it's great to have those 5 guns on the ice, but nobody plays defense. Contrary to popular belief, Mitch Marner was never in the running for the Norris last year, a couple years. Remember, Keefe tried him on the blue line. It was the most outrageous thing I've ever seen in my life. But that's the problem when you run a 5-forward set on the power play is the odd man rushes and the breakaways. And New Jersey carved them alive in this game. Again, if it weren't for Stolarz, like we've seen enough from this 5-forward set. I never want to see it again. I know their power play stinks. They've gone right back to being a total momentum killer. Like, I don't even get excited when the Leafs get a power play anymore because they're going to do nothing. And I will add too, I thought they missed a moment to call the timeout there in the third period down 1-0. Matthews and Marner were gassed. The Leafs got a power play. They elected not to call the timeout, and the power play was comparable to like a minor league hockey team. Like, I don't even know, like a beer league team. It was dreadful. So.
Well, and Willie skating around like shaking his hand after he just gets slashed there. Those guys are absolutely bagged, and there was no timeout. I'm like, dude, this is the power play that you have here, an opportunity to tie this game in the third. Don't take anything. Like, you've got a shot. Like, why not use this here? Why not take advantage? I was kind of in shock at that one as well. Power play, I just don't even want to bother getting into, honestly. It's kind of why I didn't ask you. It's just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to say about it right now. Like, it's every time they had a stretch where it was good and then it just went back down. And the frustrating thing for me, the only thing I would say about it, the frustrating thing for me is people would be like, I get in like all these arguments, people in the chat or whatever online and stuff about it. They're like, oh, well, there's ebbs and flows, ups and downs, and like things go, you know, like look at other teams. Sometimes they just don't score. No, the difference is here. It's not that they're just not scoring. It's that they fucking suck. Like, they're not doing anything, you know? It's not like they're snake bitten. Ooh, they can't score. Like, no, they're brutal. They can't get the zone. They can't complete passes. They can't set up anything. They don't get shots on goal. It's a fucking waste of time putting that power play out there, but that's the thing that's pissed me off with them right now.
It's not even like worth talking about because there's been 62 different men who have run the power play. Like I can't even rag on Mark Savard because everybody's like, oh, this guy's the savior. Well, his power play was dog shit in Calgary last year. I didn't think this guy was going to be the savior by any stretch. I know he's got face-off plays. Hooray, great stuff. But they've
Yeah.
tried everything. It's not working. Ultimately, the proof will be in the pudding. Maybe Eureka in the Stanley Cup playoffs. These guys figure it out and they score some marquee power play goals. But as we know, the margin for error is razor thin in the postseason. You are going to need your bottom six to step up, whether it's Holmberg, Yarncroke, like guys like that need to score goals. If they can, this team will be in good shape come playoff time, but plenty of racetrack remaining, of course.
Yep. Maybe all this team needs to get faster is put number 89 back in the lineup, Nick.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
No.
Never mind.
No.
Sorry. Well, thank you for joining us here tonight. I appreciate it. Who do you guys got on the show tomorrow? I think it was Anson Carter. Is that who's coming by?
Yeah, thank for the tee up. We got Ace coming on the show tomorrow from the NHL on TNT panel. We're going to break down this game, just look at Anson's thoughts on the Maple Leafs moving forward. Obviously, they cover the Maple Leafs quite a bit with Biz being on the panel there. So that's coming up. And I wanted to mention as well, make sure you book those TLN Nation vacation passes and book it. And we got 2 different packages available for you guys. We got a lot planned. TLN After Dark's going to be in the mix there. Music City. Does anything beat Nashville, man? Like, that's going to be a phenomenal time.
I've never been. You're taking me for the first time. How scary is that? My first time
Pop
in
in
Nashville
your
is going to be with you and Rosie.
And 35 other people.
Yeah. 35 other crazy Leafs fans. But yes, you and Rosie take me under your wing on Nashville. On a trip to Nashville. That is that should be
good luck, man. Get that water in, get that smelling salts. I don't know what else you need. Get the cowboy hat. Like, it's gonna be a memorable trip. So folks, you gotta sign up and be there with us. We have a lot in store, a lot planned, some special guests. So book now, nationgear.ca, or in the show chat, you can find the link.
All right, Nick, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. As always, we will see you.
Another win for the Leafs when I come on. I'm just saying.
I know. We got a trend here. We got a trend. Appreciate it, as always. Catch you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for Leafs Morning Take. That is Nick Alberga hopping by here on Leafs Nation After Dark, helping us break down tonight's game yet again. Appreciate it to Nick, as always, for stopping by. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Appreciate those of you who have sent the super chats over. Again, I'm not asking you to send them. I'm just trying to remind those of you who are in the chat and want to send super chats. All proceeds at this point here on the Leafs Nation After Dark will be going to sick kids. If that's not cool enough, I don't know what is. Going to sick kids, all proceeds going to sick kids. So make sure to check that out. Thank you guys very much for following along, liking the stream. We got a few more things to continue through the rest of the show. A couple of other things that I want to dig into here myself. You guys in the chat, I see there. Patrick G. Mafia, I should go. Just have to see you with work. Fair enough. Going away in January. Mike Batson, this game was awful, but we won, so woohoo. Yeah, I don't know. Roger Matthews, Nick, do the Leafs trade for Trouba? That'll be an interesting one. I mean, I saw an article that came out. I haven't seen anything else to that report, so I don't know how accurate or likely that is. I'm not saying it's inaccurate. I'm just genuinely saying I don't know how accurate it is. And, I mean, hey, we'll see. You have to make a lot of money work there and be maneuvered around, likely having third-party kind of guys, and then maybe that guy goes into your like a lower down pair, but I don't know. It would be interesting to see as we get closer and closer to the deadline. You know Treliving's going to want to improve the team and change some things up. I don't think Treliving's a guy who's going to go and take a big swing at the deadline, though. If anything, he's just going to be looking to add and tinker with some of the depth. That's my thought process on it. I will answer this question here. It's off topic from the game tonight, but I'll answer it. Denver, Charlebois. Denver says, Zach, did you go to college for being a radio broadcaster? What made you do this for a living? And then he says, can you answer my question? Yes. What made you want to do this for a living? Well, first of all, I'll just answer, did you go to school for a radio broadcaster? No. I went to school for business management and marketing. So I'll start there. That's what I went to school for. What made me want to do this for a living? That's a good question. I don't know. I've never really answered that myself or asked myself that. My buddies, the honest truth of how this started and how I got here is I started doing a podcast and with my buddies, and we ended up getting a bunch of cool guests on the podcast. The podcast started doing well. Someone asked me if I would do a Leaf show. I started doing Leaf show, and then next thing you know, I ended up getting a part of the Nation Network and doing the Leafs Nation After Dark, and now I do this full time. So that's how I got here. But yeah, to answer the question, I don't know what made me want to do it other than I was enjoying it and having a good time. All right, back to the game here tonight. As far as this one goes, Nick and I think said a lot of what my thoughts were on this one, and there was a lot that we kind of broke down for what was the kind of root of this game. I was a little more frustrated than Nick and still am a little bit more frustrated than Nick about that game. I know he says he doesn't care and it's all good, and I get it. I am just frustrated with the fact that this has carried over. I get the sentiment if it was 1, 2 games, maybe even 3 games. But at this point here now, this is a while and you get away with another one. But right now, I want this to flip over. Like, this game should be like almost the tipping point of let's not do this and let's not allow this to be us anymore. Because like Mike Batson, 3 bad games in a row is concerning. It's not really even just 3 bad games. It's a stretch here by this Leafs team. Penguins game, lose 5-2. That was also just a bad game. Capitals game, which it was a bad game, which is weird because it started in an amazing first period and then went downhill. Capitals game, bad. Preds game, bad. Good third period. Blackhawks game, bad. Squeak out a victory that's 4-1. The third period against Tampa, bad. So when I'm looking at that kind of stuff and I'm looking at the body of work, I know what Nick is saying and I know where he's at with like, hey, the body of work of the team as a whole throughout the season. There's ups and downs. It's a long season. Agreed with that kind of stuff. Like that, I'm on the same page as him. The thing that's frustrating me about this right now, this period that they're in, is that these last like 5 games or so has been like it's looked at times like the Leafs of old. The only thing that's made me not jump on them in some of those spots was the fact that they won games. And this game here tonight, I was watching and I was shocked. Let's be honest. I was shocked that they came away with a win, but I just kept watching and being like, we might be fucked. Like, why are we not showing up? Why is this happening? Why are you getting outplayed? Why are you just getting demolished on underlying analytics here now? You can't score on the power play. Why can't you figure out ways to generate at 5-on-5? It just kind of fell off after that period. It was like all the injured guys were absolutely, they're missing, and the guys who filled in for them were absolutely buzzing. The team was on this high. We were rocking with it. There was positive vibes. The city was in this super positive outlook on everything that was going on. Like, we couldn't lose. Not even just about the score sheet, but like the way we were playing, the style of hockey, the Berube buy-in, all of it was so amazing. Then the guys who were injured started coming back, and it just started slowly ticking off here, and it kind of fell apart. So yeah, I'm not going to absolutely lose my mind. And like, maybe the thing I'm overlooking is the fact that you won this game when you really shouldn't have is just so anti-Leafs that maybe that's what we should be taking away as a positive from this game. But I won't lie to you. There is a level of frustration, and there was a level of frustration throughout this game that it's like, this wasn't just one game. This was now like 4 games in a row, 5 games in a row. However far back you guys want to date it to, it's fair. I'm not going to like set it as a certain amount and fight with you on, hey, that game was great, that game wasn't great, whatever. You pick for yourself, but it's undeniable that this has been a series of bad games. And I was looking at this like, hey, this is going to be the first time this season that they drop 3 in a row and somehow they squeak out of it. And I was like, okay, like, how did that happen? So I get what Nick's saying. And overall, like, I'm not smashing panic button, especially with Berube back there, especially with the rest of the guys that they have on this roster that are kind of filling things out. I agree the bottom 6 needs to be better. I do think that Domi getting back in the swing of things, getting the rust off. He missed 8 games. I think that's going to help him. I think that getting Max Domi in here, or Max Pacioretty, excuse me, in that top 6 on a full-time basis, getting him going here back again. If he plays on the right line, which I think is with Tavares and Nylander, I think they start to get going again. They were amazing ahead of when Max Pacioretty got the injury. So those things I'm not worried about. McMahon comes back. It pushes guys down in the lineup. I know he scored here tonight, but maybe it's a guy like Pontus Holmberg who's looking on the outside looking in. Maybe it's a guy like Ryan Reeves who's on the outside looking in. But I think that sometimes you just get a guy who's better back and people look at it like Bobby McMahon's not going to change things. No, Bobby McMahon might not change things, but Bobby McMahon pushing a guy out of the lineup might change things. If that makes sense. It changes the dynamic of a line. It changes the depth you have. It changes some of the versatility that you have in terms of like, hey, Ryan Reeves can't score and Bobby McMahon can. Well, the bottom 6 right now is struggling to score. So maybe injecting a guy like Bobby McMahon in there who can score the occasional goal might just be a boost to all of it. I do think they will add. I think they're going to get better in the bottom 6, but those are some of the things I'm looking at. It's more just like, I don't like that this is a series of bad games. What the next 5 games do will say a lot more to me, because are you able to turn it around one game? Wonderful. Are you able to turn it around for 5 consecutive games or 4 consecutive games? Then you're going to start to prove to me that, yeah, something might be different. I see a bunch of people in the chat there as well, and we should point it out. I made the joke to Nick, but in all seriousness, Nick Robertson doesn't play here tonight, and I don't think anyone's going to say that his game was missed. Like, is Nick Robertson going to make a difference in this one? Personally, I don't think so. That might be my own personal bias, just not seeing where he fits in this lineup, letting itself creep in and start to kind of get a hold of me and saying, well, I didn't miss him, so the team didn't or whatever. But you're not seeing the coaching staff be overly impressed with him. It's not like the management is demanding he be in here. He's not like he's making a crazy impact when he's playing. In a game like tonight, it's like I didn't even notice. I'm not sitting there going, wow, I wish he was playing. So there are some other things that you can kind of look at where, hey, maybe that opens something up for someone else or opens up a roster spot or salary or whatever it may be. It's not like it's a lot of salary, but it is still some. Robbie's the next Lilligren. Patrick G. Mafia says, yeah, honestly, maybe, where you just keep trying and trying and trying and it doesn't work. Josh D. Savino. Zach, love the show, brother. Well, thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. Considering the great play of Stolarz and Wall, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on the defined starter versus solid tandem argument, especially from a playoff standpoint. I know a lot of time. I know I'm a little bit against the grain, and I kind of got a hint of it the other day. I wasn't really sure, but I think that Jeff Merrick is anti this opinion. I don't think you need an elite goaltender to win. I think you need a goaltender who plays elite. And what I mean by that is Aiden Hill is not an elite goaltender to me. Jordan Bennington is not an elite goaltender to me. You know, look around at some of the goaltenders who have won in the past. Darcy Kemper, not an elite goaltender. But these are good goaltenders who could play well enough to get you wins and maybe steal some in some spots. And then every now and then, they're just going to go on these stretches where they are absolutely lights out elite goaltenders, and you just hope that it's at the right period of time and for the right stretch of games, and hopefully is it in the Stanley Cup playoffs to push you over the top. So as far as the tandem goaltending, I like it a lot because it doesn't put the pressure of like, this is your pure starter and we're so screwed if the other guy ends up going in, it alleviates some of that pressure. And through 82 games, it kind of helps you out because it doesn't matter who goes in, Stolars or Wall, they get themselves into this lineup and you can feel pretty comfortable about who the goalie is. The playoffs are a while away. Let's make sure those guys help us get there. And by that time, who knows? One of them maybe has defined themselves as the number one. One of them is maybe more trustworthy, or one of them is just you're going to lean on because he's a veteran and he won the Stanley Cup with Florida last year. Like, who knows how it plays out then, but I personally like it. I do like it. Scout the Wookiee also pointing out Skinner got to Game 7. Yeah, like Stuart Skinner was Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals last year. Is Stuart Skinner an elite goaltender? You know? I don't think he's top. Well, he's not better than any of the Canadian goalies. He's not better than Logan Thompson, who didn't make it. So there, he's 5th in Canada at minimum. Connor Hellebuck is better, so now he's 6th. Jake Ottinger is better, he's 7th. Shesterkin, okay, now 8. You know, add. Bobrovsky, like, yeah, it pushes down. So every goal in the NHL is elite, Mike Patson says. Okay, I mean, in relative terms, sure. Producer Vic, the GOAT, says Stuart Skinner lost to an elite goalie. It is true. How often, though, would you say that it is elite goalie versus average goalie in the finals? And also, personally, I don't think that was Stuart Skinner that lost them that series. That was just Florida being that much better. All right, we got another super chat here. Reminder, and again, sorry, this one's going to be long, but reminder, all proceeds, our super chat charity partner this season is Sick Kids. If you want to make sure your question or comment gets on the show, hit us with a super chat. Proceeds from our super chat will go to Sick Kids, Canada's first children's hospital and a top research intensive children's hospital in Canada, and third in the world. 525,944 total patient visits, and it's one of the world's busiest pediatric transplant centers. Any and all super chats, the proceeds from those will go to Sick Kids. We got ourselves yet another super chat here on the show. I'm going to shorten that one up. That's my bad. I'll shorten that up. Joe Hill. Power play started going downhill. Joe, thank you for the super chat. Power play started going downhill when Matthews came back. I know this is nuts, but can they consider moving AM down to power play 2 to see if they can make it work? Also, notable response here. Diz K says, that isn't nuts at all. I want Matthews and Marner split up completely, not just on the power play. See, quick side note on before I answer Joe's question. One thing that was interesting about Matthews and Marner was that game against Nashville, they weren't great together. And then Marner decided to go absolutely out of his mind himself. Matthews has an unbelievable third period with him, and now they're like glued at the hip. Marner and Tavares were incredible before that. And I personally thought, maybe I'm out to lunch, maybe I'm an idiot and have no idea what I'm talking about. Wouldn't be the first time. But I thought Nylander and Matthews looked pretty good together from an offensive standpoint. And I don't think that they were defensive liabilities. Like, you have Nyes, who's pretty committed to the D zone. You've got Austin Matthews, who is a pure 200-foot player. And you have Willie, who, yeah, he's sure he's not the best defensive player or best defensive zone player, but Willie is at least a guy who's not going to bail on the D zone for 95% of the games or 95% of the time. It was just slow a slow game for 2 periods. They got split up. Fair enough. You want to shake things up. Marner and Matthews were great together in that third period against Nashville. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, they're stuck together. I don't know. Like maybe if we let Pacioretty, JT, and Willie, like, I don't know. Like if they get some runway, maybe they're good again. But right now, I don't know. Yeah, splitting them up would be interesting. It's not even that these lines are like bad. It's just I thought that they were good before. That's kind of my thoughts on that. Joe here with the super chat, though. I want to make sure we answer Joe's question. Power play started going downhill when Matthews came back. No, this is nuts, but can they consider moving down Austin Matthews' power play too to see if they can make it work? I mean, like, yes. How do you go about this? I probably would not do Matthews on PP2, but I would split them up. I don't know how you would want to go about it or what the lines would be that you would have there, but like maybe Matthews and Nyes on the first unit. I probably would still keep Willie out there for the full 2, but like some combo of Ekman Larson on the first one, Matthews on the wall, Nyes in the net front, maybe like Pacioretty in the middle, and then Nylander. And then the second unit, you go with like, and I'm not even saying second unit as in like they're the worst unit. I'm just saying you want to go split. You could go with either one. Second unit, then you go with Riley up top. You go with, and these are just pure speculation, but if you want to split something up, this first thing that came to mind. Riley up top, Marner on the side, or Marner down low to quarterback from there. Nylander in the same shooting spot. Then you can put, Tavares in front. I don't know, pick your guy of who you want to be in the other spot there, whether it's Domi over on the other wall, and then you got a bunch of guys who can pass in those situations. But right now, it feels a little bit like everyone kind of like takes their foot off the gas. It doesn't really feel like they're forcing it to Matthews as much, which is an argument that's come up a ton in the past, but I wouldn't say that they're forcing it to him too much right now. It's more so just feels lackadaisical. When he was gone, it felt like there was go, 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 go. Even if it wasn't that pretty and their success rate wasn't insanely high, they were pushing pace. They were trying to make things happen. They were being direct. They were trying to get pucks to the net. They were taking shots. Like it was a much more intense and felt more of a dangerous power play. All of a sudden, it's like Matthews comes back and everyone's like, whoop, the big dog's got us. This guy scored all the time. He's the big goal scorer. He can score 69. It's easy. We'll just give the puck to him or let him do it. And it's like, what the fuck, guys? You were so good without him. Where did that intensity go? Where did that style of play and the sense of urgency go? Like, where did the awareness of pressure coming and making sure the puck was moving quickly and with a purpose go? Like, why did that fall off? Why was that the case where this just disappeared into thin air? I want intensity out of these guys, and with Matthews, it feels much more lackadaisical. I don't think it's like Matthews' fault that this is happening to them, but it feels like as a group they look at it like, hey, we have to share this way more, and I don't like that right now. Yeah, Joe says it's definitely a psychological thing with AM on the ice. The intensity just goes out the window. It's like weird. It feels like, and I'm just putting words and thoughts in their mouths. Like I don't know what the case is, but it kind of feels like the way they look at it is like, if we just pass this puck around long enough, Matthews will shoot it and score, or Willie will shoot it and score. And it's like, no, stop doing that. Make it happen. Don't, like, there was that period of time where they were forcing the other team to make mistakes on the penalty kill, and like they were pushing them back, and they were going into the spot where they were jamming the opposing team up. They were tightening them up. They were walking in on them the entire time as the puck would move around. Then they could stretch them back out and find seams inside. They would shoot pucks through, get tips, get rebounds. Like they were all over the front of the net. It felt like for a while there on the power play. Matthews comes back and it's like, boom, peripheral. Everybody wants to go go back outside, pass the puck around, pass the puck around, pass the puck around. Like, I don't know if you guys play lacrosse, or I think it's probably a thing in basketball where it's like swing it and you go to the power play because you're going to try to get somebody open. You're going to try to get a certain look. And when it's on the opposite side of the guy, you swing the ball around, it gets to him, and the coach will yell, swing it, to keep it moving again because he doesn't want to do it. Swing it, and then you pass it all the way around. Everybody stands, and then it's like, okay, Austin's got the ball, Austin's got the puck, go. And like, no, this is the wrong way to approach this. This is the wrong way to go about it. Like, all of you can attack. All of you can score. It's a good super chat, Joe. Thank you. I appreciate it. And again, like, I don't know for sure what's going on. That's just kind of watching this from like a big picture. It's like, it feels like everyone takes a step back, and I don't understand why. Why does the intensity have to drop off there? We did hit 100 likes here on the stream. There's enough people, more than enough people, to get to 150. I don't know why you guys are being so slow on this here, but hit that like button. We get to 150. We'll do the smelling salts again. Thank you guys so much for liking the stream. Thanks for the 150 likes, and thank you to everyone who sent super chats in here on the stream tonight. All the proceeds of those super chats go to Sick Kids Hospital. Okay, we'll do the smelling salts. And then before we get out of here, we're going to do the deserve to win a meter for our guy, Diz K, who's asked now twice. I saw your comment, Diz K. I was not ignoring you. I was going to get to it. We're going to get to our play of the game. We're going to get to our best bet. And we're going to get to our grade of the game. Thank you all for liking the stream. Let's get to 150. Thank you. We'll do smelling salts. Oh, there you go. Ooh. All right. Let's get to what Diz K is asking for. And Mario Kart every time wants it as well. Let's go. Oh my God, I didn't even look at it myself. I knew it was going to be bad, but I wasn't sure. That is... This is something special. This is really something special, ladies and gentlemen. The deserve to win a meter for tonight. %82.8% New Jersey Devils. I don't even I mean, sorry. Like, I know this is a podcast for some people, and this is a show where I'm the only person on the show. I didn't have words when I put that up. Yeah. 82.8%. That is fucked. Max Entius Decimus, Sheldon Keefe Hockey, Mark So Keefe. Legit, this is the most Sheldon Keefe game of all time. That would have been us on the other side last year. Like, if this was an alternate, don't even have to say alternate universe. We did this for 3 years. That was us on the other side. Having this conversation. How did we pump them 82.8% on the deserve to win a meter and not win this game? Expected goals. Oh my God. Anthony Stolarz is going to have the most outrageous goal saved above expected. 4.57 expected goals for the Devils. 2.25 for the Leafs. I cannot wait to see this. Jack Hughes, Austin Matthews had 0.92%. Or 0.92 expected goals. Do you know how absurd that is? That the team itself had what? 2.25 and Matthews had 0.92. Jack Hughes had 0.74. The highest player on the team was Max Domi at 69.8. Timmins 68.7. The lowest player on the New Jersey Devils was 36.64. Oh my God. Wow. But a win. This is the Anthony Stolarz game. If anyone had any doubts about signing Anthony Stolarz or the tandem or whatever, just remember this game. Remember that deserve to win a meter, because that's not possible if it's not for him. Yeah. Quick note on a thing in the chat before we get to our next segment here. DJ MJ. MJ says Reeves might go the whole season without fighting. He could have done something to fire up the team. He's actually becoming useless. Yeah, and then Mike Fami says, I feel like Revo's useless to this team now. So I kind of had the same thought, right? Which let me explain my thought process, because I'm sure a lot of you went through this as well. It's late second period, you're down 1-0, and you have played like, honestly, like not even mincing words, you have played like complete shit for almost 40 minutes. The team has no life, no energy, no fight, no push, nothing. Like, there is nothing going. The closest thing that happened was Pacioretty absolutely smoking Hughes, and nothing happened. Reeves did save a goal tonight. Kudos to him. That was in the first period. He saved a goal. I actually put a star beside it. I want to see how the rest of the game went, but I was like, this could be the play of the game. I was looking around and I'm like, okay, this is a spot for Ryan Reeves to fight. Like, this is a spot for Ryan Reeves to step up and grab somebody and go and get the energy pumped up and get the boys going and try to inject some life into this team. And then right after I thought about that, it was like, Dylan is the only person on New Jersey who might be willing to go. And I don't think he would fight Ryan Reeves. Like, I don't think that's the scrap he wants. At which point made me just be like, why? I love Reeves. I loved what his impact and what seemed to be his impact in the locker room last year. Well, how he was trying to instill the culture, how he was trying to do all that. But it's like, I don't know. It's almost like you just want to pay the guy to like hang out with the boys, not being on the ice right now. And I don't think he's a detriment to the group, which is like another point, but he's just not adding anything positive right now. 11.13 expected goals for tonight. I mean, yeah, okay. That's bad. So that's not good. But it's like, I'm not watching him out there going, oh wow, that play, this play was so terrible, if that makes sense. Like, there's not games where we're coming on here after losing our minds saying, wow, what did he do in that spot? I think Chris Arsenault probably makes a good point here. Reeves is useful, not a permanent staple in the lineup, but he plays a hard game and is usually where he needs to be. I would agree with that. He's just not like going to impact the game super positively. And he's kind of just like a non-factor on that fourth line right now. So to be here every single night, I think is kind of just not making sense for me right now. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Ryan Reeves. Let's get to the play of the game. Okay, play of the game for me. You know what? Let's go. I was going to be a hero. I'm not going to do it. Play of the game is going to be the Connor Dewar hustle on the penalty kill and Pontus Holmberg scoring that goal. It starts with Pontus Holmberg, Anthony Stolarz making saves in front, being on his ass, sprawling out, stopping everything that comes in there. Defense locking the front of the net up when the Devils had a billion opportunities to score. And then puck gets flipped out. And it is Connor Dewar who turns on the Jets, races down the ice, kind of beats Dawson Mercer, wins the battle, knocks the puck back. Holmberg grabs it and rips home a soft goal past Markstrom to tie the game. That was us on the other side last year, the year before, watching a Sheldon Keefe team have that happen to us. Felt good to be on the other side, but it also felt like, what the hell am I watching? Regardless, that's a hustle play by Connor Dewar, who worked his bag off to get there. Pontus Holmberg scores his second goal of the season and first pass of goaltender. Just a whack night all around. And then the honorable mention that I was going to be the hero on that I decided not to. Honorable mention, I've got two. One of which, Anthony Stolarz for the entire game, his entire body of work. I cannot say enough positive things about him here tonight, but that's just an as a whole. The guy was amazing. Positives would be Connor Timmins laying down and breaking up that pass. It's a 2-on-1 that is likely ending the game because I don't even think Stolarz, even as amazing as he was, could get across to save this one. And as the pass goes to go across, Timmins breaks it up on the 2-on-1, blocks it with his stick. The puck bounces out, and it's Matthews and Nyes who take off. Matthews dropped to Nyes. Nyes gets on his horse, feeds the puck through the defenseman's legs to Matthews on the seam pass, or like on a little slip through. Matthews in alone on a breakaway and doesn't happen to score on that one. But it is a great defensive play all the way up the ice with some speed and transition, turning it into a track meet with the Devils. Nyes makes that nice pass through. Matthews just can't bury. Is what it is, but I thought that was a great play. Other honorable mention, the second honorable mention of the night is the Austin Matthews breakaway goal to win it. The guy, as off as he is, and I think it's a deserving statement about, he hasn't been that dialed in. Like, think about how many of these goals were going in for him last year or the year before or whatever. They're just not right now. Something does feel off. Regardless, the guy has like 4 breakaways or 5 breakaways, whatever it was. I'm thinking he's never going to score. And then finally in OT goes in tight after hustling down the ice, winning the battle against the defenseman. Stolarz with basically an assist on the play. He should have got one. I'm surprised that I'm shocked that he didn't. And then it's Austin Matthews who goes up, and 6 1/3 is a good point. Last year it's a 4-goal game. It's a good point. Like last year it is a 4-goal game. But Matthews goes down, disgusting finish, top hit, game over. Maybe the most aggressive Selly of all time, but you got to respect it. Game-winning goal, too. Shout out to him. The Leafs team walks away with 2 points in a game they did not deserve to. Feels different. What else do we got? Let's get to our best bet here. Recap what happened there. We'll just go over it briefly. Not great. I liked it. We got the best of the number. Let's be realistic, which is obviously always good. We got the best price in market. I think it moved in our direction here throughout the game as well. But our best bet of the night, we'll recap this one quickly and get out of here for everybody. Best bet brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of the Leafs Nation pregame and the Leafs Nation after dark. Open an account today with Bet365 and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, NATION, code NATION, all caps, NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. All right. Best bet tonight. Again, like I said, did not go our way. I think it was a fine bet. People in the chat actually ahead or on the comments of the show of the pregame, which you should all be watching, subscribe here to the channel, Leaf Station 401, seemed pretty interested in it. It just didn't work out. Mitch Marner, anytime goal, plus 280. I thought Mitch was fine here tonight, but not incredible. Fine, not incredible. He's not the guy, as Nick said, that we're going to kind of jump on here. But it was Austin Matthews. It was Mitch Marner anytime goal that we picked. It was Austin Matthews anytime goal that we should have bet. It's unfortunate, but the plus 280, I thought it was going to get through for us. It does not. So that's our best bet here tonight. I don't have too much else to say about it. It's like if you end up in a game where you have 16 shots on goal, more than likely Mitch Marner's not scoring a fucking goal for you. So, yeah, like a guy who doesn't really shoot that much as is in a game where you're not getting as much chances, it's probably not going to go your way when you're betting on Mitch Marner anytime goal. I will be honest, I did not expect that kind of effort. I did not expect that type of play from this team tonight. I thought it was going to be much better, much more intense, much more life in them, and they just didn't have it here tonight. So unfortunate, and it doesn't help us cash the bet, but at least the Leafs win, so we can walk away with that positive. This does bring us on the season down 1.18 units. So this is the furthest we've strayed from net zero on the year. I think there was a point in time there earlier on where we were around this. I don't know if it was this bad, but we were around this. So we'll work to get that back up in the future. But that's our best bet. We moved to 10 and 22 on the season, now down 1.18 units on the year. So there you go. A couple of things in the chat. First and foremost, Scout the Wookie, yo Zack, when are you getting Gord on again? Gord is a little bit difficult to get with some of these because you have to remember he is a day ahead of us on time. He is also a teacher. I am not spoiling anything there. He's told us numerous times what he is, what he does. So he is also a teacher. So if it's on certain days of the week, if it's on certain weekdays, he can't call in. He watches all of them. I know he does. I see him in the chats there and stuff after, so I know that he's watching it, commenting, all that kind of stuff. He's just not catching all of them in real time a lot of times, especially if he's teaching. There's honestly a good chance he's watching this one live right now with just zero audio and just reading the chat. Like, that's the honest truth. But a lot of times on Saturdays, Gord is good to call in. I think it's on Thursdays as well. Gord can call in for the most part. What else was in the chat? Trouba stuff. The other thing to remember with the Trouba stuff, which is pointed out in the chat there as well, but Trouba does not want to go to Canada. So unless he really is interested in the Leafs and an opportunity to try to win, likely not going to be the case. He would dude, he did not want to go to Anaheim. He fought through that one. So highly unlikely. But yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one to swing. As well, you got to figure out salary cap stuff on that one as well. What else do we got in the chat? Quick things to wrap this up. Pryka would look great in a Leafs uniform. Yeah, he would. Don't know if that works well for trade purposes here with St. Louis team that probably is not overly interested in trading him, and you also have to deal with a little bit of cap issue if you do want to take that one on for a guy who's got some term, I think, with them. Bring Shen back. Well, the boys on Leafs Morning Take did talk about that. They put out a video the other day, so if you want to hear them break it down, make sure to subscribe to the channel, Leaf Station 401. There was a video that came out the other day about that. All right, final thing. Let's get to our grades of the game before we wrap this one up. Grade of the game for me is going to be I don't. Jesus, how do I even do this? Grade of the game is strange. D plus. Like maybe I could go up, but not much. Stolar's is an A plus. Power play stinks. F. Penalty kill. 4 for 4. Generated a ton of chances. That was amazing. I don't know. I don't really even have as much of an explanation here. Like, how do I even get to this? D plus is almost just a vibes answer. Like a D. F for the whole team. A plus for Stoli. Fair. Yeah, I think this is just like a D. D plus. Good on you for sticking in it and winning, I guess. Was that more that the Leafs stuck in it or that the Devils didn't close it? Like penalty kill, A plus. Goaltending, A plus. Power play, F. Rest of the team, F. Effort, F. Physicality, decent. D plus is my grade. That's going to do it for me. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in here tonight. I appreciate it, as always. We'll be back. What day is today? Tuesday. Whew, these days of the week, everything blends together for me right now. We'll be back on Thursday for another post-game live show. Thursday's game against the Anaheim Ducks. Oh boy, if you don't turn this one around and play a decent game against the Ducks, there might be panic in Leafs land. Maybe Rosie comes on and his head explodes. But until then, that'll do it for us here on the Leafs Nation post-game show. Leafs win this one 2-1 in overtime in a game they truly did not deserve to win. You end up in this game with 16 shots on goal. The Devils had 39. You got your first shot on goal. I think it was like 10 minutes into the first period. Your second didn't come until like halfway through the second period. It was a nightmare game all the way around. You found a way, you got it done, and you got some bottom six scoring. You also got Austin Matthews on the board, and you're going to have a frustrated Devils fan base, which is fun because it's not us for once. Leafs move to 17-9-2 on the season with this 2-1 victory over the Devils in overtime here tonight. Thanks so much to everyone who tuned in. Thank you to Nick Alberga for stopping by. As always, we appreciate it. Thanks to producer Vic, who was chilling out there in the chat. Thank you to all of you in the chat who have participated. Oh, wait. Last thing. One more. We have one final super chat. One final. All proceeds going to Sick Kids as well. I cannot. Oh. Double down just because it's the end of the show. Why not? Double down. Joe Hill. We've said it before. Good teams find a way to win. This is true. Good teams find a way to win. The Maple Leafs found a way to win here tonight. Kudos to the Maple Leafs for this one. Kudos to all of you guys in the chat. Thank you so much, everyone, for sending those super chats, for liking the stream. Remember, all proceeds go to Sick Kids, so thank you very much for helping out with that here tonight. That'll do it for us on the post-game show. Until Thursday for another pregame, until Thursday for another post-game following the game against the Ducks. I'm Zack Phillips. Thank you all for watching. Until then, keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos, make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.